Why would a woman want you to step back, even when she's attracted to you? It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? You'd think the more attention and affection you give, the closer and more invested she'd become. But here's the surprising truth. Sometimes what she really wants, even if she doesn't say it out loud, is a bit of space. Space to breathe, to miss you, to feel your absence. When you pull back, you're not creating distance just for the sake of it. You're giving her the chance to reflect on what you bring to her life. In this video, we're uncovering why this approach isn't just a clever tactic, but a natural dynamic in attraction. And yes, even rooted in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics remind us of the power of restraint, the strength in not always reacting or leaning in too much. When you pull back, it isn't about playing games. It's about allowing her to see your value from a different perspective. By the end of this video, you'll understand why sometimes the most magnetic thing you can do is to let go, step back, and give her the space to come toward you. So stick around, because sometimes creating that space isn't just powerful, it's essential for a deeper connection. Number 1. Why women want you to leave first. When I say leave first, I don't mean ghosting or disappearing altogether. I'm talking about creating intentional distance, letting her feel your absence a little bit. Now, this idea might seem extreme. You might be thinking, if she's into me, why would I ever want to pull back? But here's the twist. When you're always there, always responding instantly, always available, she gets used to it. You're no longer a rare experience or a unique presence. Instead, you become predictable, maybe even easy to take for granted. Think about this in terms of your favorite suspenseful novel or a show you're hooked on. It's not just one straightforward plotline that grabs your attention, it's the twists and turns, the cliffhangers, and the mysteries that keep you engaged. If you always knew what was coming, it wouldn't be as exciting, right? The same goes for relationships. When you step back, even if it's just a little, you're adding that element of intrigue. You're creating a moment where she wonders what you're up to, what's going on in your world. Women actually crave this kind of dynamic shift because it pulls them in. Suddenly, you're not entirely predictable, and it gives her a chance to step up and notice what you bring to the table when you're not always there. This isn't about playing games. It's about giving her the space to realize your value. Let's say you're texting back and forth with her daily, always initiating the good morning texts, always the one making plans. In her mind, she knows she's going to hear from you, and even if she likes it, there's nothing new or exciting there. Now, imagine one day you don't initiate the conversation. You don't reach out right away. Maybe she's left wondering, hey, where's his text today? What's he up to? That moment of curiosity creates tension, and it brings you to her mind in a new way. She's now taking the time to think about you, to wonder about your day. It's human nature to desire what we can't fully have. When you step back, you give her a taste of what it's like without you there all the time. And it can lead her to appreciate your presence even more. She's more likely to value your time, your attention, and what you bring to the relationship. You become someone intriguing, someone who's not just there on demand, but someone she actively wants to be around. Now, to do this effectively, you need balance. Don't disappear for so long that it comes across as careless or disinterested. It's about creating small spaces of absence. Maybe you skip initiating a conversation once in a while, or you're not the first to make plans every time. Give her room to make that effort, to meet you halfway, and to appreciate the times you do reach out. This approach creates a respectful, healthy distance where she has the space to reflect on what you bring to the table and to miss you, even just a little bit. And when she does, that's when you know you're creating an attraction that's grounded in real connection, not just constant availability. So remember, pulling back doesn't mean being unavailable or playing games. It's about showing respect for your own time, allowing her to see your worth, and letting her come to you as much as you go to her. That's how you build a lasting, meaningful connection. Number 2, commitment crushes desire. All right, let's talk about commitment and how too much of it, too soon, can actually be a big turnoff. Now, I know that sounds strange. We're told that commitment is the ultimate goal, right? You want to show her that you're serious, that you're invested, that you're not just here to mess around. And yes, that's all well and good, eventually. But there's a key to making that work: timing and balance. Think about it. We've all seen those movies or heard those stories where the nice guy is totally devoted. He's reliable. He's always there. He's practically waiting at her beck and call, and yet she loses interest. Why is that? Because there's no excitement in complete predictability. No spark in knowing exactly how someone feels, day in and day out. That kind of unwavering certainty can actually start to feel a little stifling. Imagine you've got this amazing trip planned, somewhere you've always wanted to go. You're excited. You're looking up places to visit. You're packing your bags. But what if someone told you, you're going to live there forever, you'll never leave, and every day will be just like the day before? That excitement would probably start to fade, right? The thrill of the trip is partly because it's temporary, because there's something different on the horizon. This same concept applies to relationships. When someone knows they have you completely, it can start to feel a little like that never-ending trip. Predictable, maybe even boring. This is where Stoic philosophy comes in. Stoicism teaches us to value things without becoming completely attached. It's about enjoying the presence of someone without needing them to define our entire world. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from clinging to external things or people. In relationships, this means you can be present, loving, and loyal without making her the only thing that matters in your life. So how do you apply this? Well, instead of pouring everything into the relationship from the start, make sure you're keeping parts of your life that are just for you. Keep pursuing your own goals, your hobbies, your friendships. Let her see that you have a life outside of her, that you're someone with depth, with passions, and with things you care about. This gives her room to miss you, to be curious about you, and to see you as someone who's interesting and independent. When you show her that she's part of your life, not the whole thing, it changes the dynamic. You're not putting all your emotional eggs in one basket. You're showing her that you're confident enough to stand alone, which, ironically, makes her want to be part of your world even more. She feels more drawn to you because you're not clinging or depending on her for your happiness. So, commitment is fine, but balance it with your own space. A healthy dose of independence and self-focus isn't a threat to a relationship. It's the foundation of one that lasts. Keep her close, but not so close that you're holding on too tightly. That's how you keep the attraction alive and show her that you're someone who's worth sticking around for. As you think about this idea of balancing commitment with independence, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever found yourself pouring too much too soon into a relationship? Or maybe you felt the need to pull back and find that balance. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about commitment and desire? Or, if you're just here to soak it all in, Type "balance is key" as a reminder of this powerful insight. Now, let's continue. Number 3. Drama fuels desire. Many women, consciously or subconsciously, are drawn to relationships that have a bit of unpredictability. When things are entirely routine or predictable, there's a tendency for attraction to wane. And by drama, I don't mean the kind of toxicity that leaves either of you feeling hurt or frustrated. Instead, it's the kind of intrigue that comes from not always being fully available, from letting her wonder a little about where you stand. This sense of mystery keeps her engaged because it introduces a feeling of excitement, a bit of an edge. Think of it as an artful balance between connection and independence. If you're always around, always available, and always predictable, the relationship can start to feel like a constant. It's human nature to begin taking things for granted when they're always within reach. So by pulling back and giving her room, you're creating a space for her to feel the difference between when you're fully present and when you're not. This space allows her to miss you, to feel the pull of your absence, and to appreciate the value of your presence. It's not about withholding affection, but rather fostering a rhythm of closeness and separation that keeps both of you intrigued. Stoicism offers a profound insight here. Avoid attachment to outcomes. When you're too focused on keeping things constant or ensuring she feels a particular way, you might be placing too much weight on her reactions. Stepping back communicates that you're comfortable within yourself, that you don't need the relationship to feel complete. You're there because you genuinely want to be, not because you're dependent on her attention or approval. That confidence, that self-assuredness, is what draws her toward you. When you step back, you're not creating a distance that says, "I don't care." Instead, you're showing her that your life is full, balanced, and complete on its own. You have passions, interests, and pursuits that make you whole, and you're not in a place where you need her attention to validate your worth. That's a Stoic principle, to find fulfillment from within, rather than relying on external circumstances or relationships. This independence doesn't mean you don't value her presence. It simply means you're equally comfortable with and without it. When she sees that, it signals strength and resilience, qualities that are highly attractive because they communicate that you bring stability and calmness to the relationship. And here's where a bit of healthy drama comes in. By occasionally stepping back, you allow her to feel the contrast between your presence and absence. You give her the experience of longing, of feeling that spark of anticipation. This dynamic can actually bring you closer, deepening the connection without either of you feeling stifled. The drama isn't a conflict. It's a sense of intrigue and appreciation that comes from seeing both your independence and your willingness to connect. In short, when you pull back, you're reminding her of your individuality, of the man she was initially drawn to, the one who has his own life, dreams, and sense of purpose. It's a balance of closeness and autonomy that aligns with Stoic wisdom. You're teaching her, and perhaps even yourself, that true fulfillment comes from within. And in that process, you're creating a dynamic that keeps her interested, engaged, and deeply appreciative of the time you do spend together. It's a powerful way to foster a connection that's based on mutual respect, attraction, and genuine desire, one that's far from ordinary and deeply fulfilling. Number 4. Why stability isn't enough. Let's talk about a common misconception, that stability alone is the key to attracting and keeping someone's interest. While being stable, reliable, and financially secure are all valuable qualities. They're often seen as the foundation rather than the full picture of what creates deep attraction. Stability makes you dependable, but it doesn't necessarily make you intriguing. And when it comes to sustaining attraction, especially over time, intrigue and a sense of mystery play a significant role. Women are often drawn to qualities that go beyond just being the safe choice. They're looking for someone who brings energy, purpose, and a bit of unpredictability into their lives. This doesn't mean recklessness or constant spontaneity. It's more about having a sense of purpose and individuality that extends beyond the relationship. It's what some might call alpha energy, but it's really about exuding a natural confidence, an independence that suggests you're a man who has a life he's passionate about and isn't overly reliant on anyone else to find fulfillment. When you have that drive and self-assurance, it's magnetic. Stoicism complements this mindset perfectly because it teaches self-reliance and inner strength. It emphasizes detachment from things beyond your control, including the reactions of others, and encourages you to build a strong, stable core that isn't easily shaken. Think about it. If you're calm and centered, no matter the situation, you become someone who is grounded, yet also fascinating. You're not just a safe harbor, you're a whole world she wants to be part of, because she senses a depth and mystery that intrigue her. In other words, being reliable is essential, but so is cultivating an aura of independence and purpose. Stoic detachment doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable. Rather, it's about being comfortable on your own, grounded in your values, and not overly attached to others' opinions or validation. When you approach relationships from this mindset, you're sending a message that you're not with her because you need her to feel complete. You're with her because you choose to be. That choice, free from neediness or dependence, is incredibly powerful and deeply attractive. Consider this scenario. You're a stable, hard-working man with your finances in order and your life on track. But you're also intentional about your time, investing in your personal goals, spending time on your passions, and having your own friendships and routines. When she sees this, she recognizes that you're not just there for her. You're someone who's actively engaged in becoming the best version of yourself. This sense of purpose and self-direction is what keeps the relationship dynamic and alive, making her feel as if she's with a man who's going somewhere in life, someone she can admire and respect. So, if you're aiming to be a high-value partner, remember, it's not just about financial security or predictability. It's about cultivating an inner world that's strong, resilient, and self-sufficient. It's about finding fulfillment within yourself and bringing that strength into the relationship, not as a necessity, but as a choice. This is the kind of energy that not only keeps the flame alive, but also makes you someone she wants to know more deeply, to be close to, and to admire. By focusing on building that kind of independence and self-confidence, you create a dynamic where she feels both safe and captivated, drawn to your world and the strength you bring to it. Number 5, don't be too emotional. Let's talk about the importance of managing emotions in a relationship, about showing you care without overwhelming her with intense emotions too quickly. When a man is overly expressive or too emotionally invested early on, it can unintentionally send signals that might be interpreted as neediness or even insecurity. It's a common trap to fall into, especially when you feel a strong connection with someone. But maintaining that balance, that sense of groundedness, is essential if you want her to view you as a strong and stable partner. This isn't about shutting down your feelings or pretending to be someone you're not. Emotions are natural, and expressing them is an important part of building a healthy relationship. However, there's a difference between expressing genuine feelings and letting your emotions take over. When you're too available, too quick to share deep emotions, or always wearing your heart on your sleeve, it can come across as a bit overwhelming. Women appreciate a man who is in control of his emotions, not because he's cold, but because he's strong enough to navigate his feelings without letting them define him. Imagine you've just started seeing someone, and you feel things are going really well. You're excited, and you're showing her a lot of affection, maybe even telling her early on just how much you care, or constantly texting to check in. While your intentions are good, this level of emotional investment might make her feel like things are moving too fast, or that you're a bit too focused on her without giving the relationship time to develop naturally. It's almost as if there's no room for her to feel curiosity or to wonder about you, because you're already putting everything on the table. Instead, think about pacing your emotions, just as you would pace other parts of the relationship. Let her get to know you gradually, layer by layer, rather than all at once. This doesn't mean playing hard to get or hiding your feelings, but rather showing your interest in a way that's steady and consistent. By not putting all your emotions out there right away, you're allowing her to appreciate each moment with you, to feel the thrill of getting to know you without being overwhelmed. This approach helps create a sense of balance in the relationship, where both of you are gradually investing rather than rushing headlong into intense emotions. Now, you might wonder, isn't showing affection a good thing? Absolutely. It's a great thing, but timing and intensity matter. A steady, calm approach shows her that you're confident and comfortable in your own skin. You're not seeking validation or reassurance. You're simply enjoying the process of building a connection. When you're too emotional, it can sometimes make her feel pressured to match that intensity, which might not be where she's at just yet. By keeping your feelings in check, you're giving the relationship room to grow at a pace that feels natural. When a woman sees that you're emotionally balanced, it sends a message that you're a man who knows himself, someone who's reliable and grounded. You're not swept away by every passing feeling. You're intentional about when and how you express yourself. This doesn't mean you're closed off or reserved, but that you're measured in the way you reveal your emotions. And that balance, that steady presence, creates a sense of security and trust. She knows that when you do express yourself, it's genuine and meaningful, because you're not throwing your emotions around impulsively. By controlling your emotions and choosing when to express them, you're demonstrating a strength and maturity that's incredibly attractive. You're showing her that you're not just emotionally available, but emotionally stable. And that stability, that sense of groundedness, makes her feel safe with you. It's not about hiding your true self. It's about letting her see you as a man who is in control of his life, his feelings, and his journey. If you've made it this far, you're clearly someone who's interested in building a strong, grounded connection. Managing your emotions effectively is no small feat, but it's one of the most powerful ways to create trust and show her that you're a confident, steady partner. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below sharing your perspective on emotional balance in relationships. Or if you just want to show some support, type "strength in stability" in the comments to let us know you're here and taking these insights to heart. Now, let's uncover the next insight together. Number 6. The power of walking away. One of the strongest messages you can send is this: I'm willing to walk away. This isn't about using threats or trying to create tension. It's about showing a deep respect for yourself, for your values, and for what you want in life. When a man can genuinely step back, when he's willing to leave a situation that compromises his self-worth, it sends a strong message that he values himself. And that's incredibly attractive to a woman, because it shows her that he's in the relationship by choice, not out of dependency or fear. There's a certain power in knowing your boundaries and sticking to them. Many people, both men and women, struggle with the fear of losing someone, and this fear can lead to compromises that slowly erode self-respect. But when you're able to walk away if necessary, you're telling her, "I'm here because I want to be, not because I need to be." That's a crucial distinction. It demonstrates emotional strength, independence, and a self-assurance that makes you stand out. Let's say you're in a relationship where things have started to feel off. Maybe there's a lack of respect, or perhaps your values don't fully align. If you stay out of fear of losing her, you're essentially saying that you're willing to put your self-worth on hold for the sake of keeping someone around. But if you calmly, respectfully step back, or even walk away, you're showing her that you won't settle for less than what feels right to you. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you value yourself enough to hold on to your standards. And believe me, that's a strength women notice and deeply respect. This is where the concept of self-discipline comes into play. Stoicism teaches us to practice self-control and to avoid attachment to things we can't control. In relationships, this means valuing your own well-being and peace of mind over clinging to someone who might not be the best fit. It's about showing restraint, even when emotions are high, and choosing to step away if the situation isn't healthy. When you have this kind of self-respect, you're not only protecting yourself, but also creating a dynamic in the relationship where she knows you won't bend or break just to please her. You're your own person, and you're comfortable with that. Walking away is one of the most challenging moves because it requires you to face your fears and insecurities head-on. But it also shows her that you're confident and secure within yourself. You're not seeking validation from her or relying on her to feel complete. Instead, you're building a relationship based on mutual respect, where both of you are there because you choose to be, not because you feel pressured or dependent. This choice-based connection is what keeps relationships healthy and grounded. It's the difference between a relationship where both people feel free and one where they feel trapped. The strength to walk away isn't about shutting down emotionally or being stubborn. It's about recognizing your worth and refusing to let someone else dictate it. This self-respect and inner stability are what make you so compelling. Women are drawn to men who know who they are, who don't compromise their values just to keep the peace. When she sees that you're willing to let go if things aren't right, it reinforces that you're a man who lives by his principles. You're not afraid of being alone because you're fulfilled within yourself, and that independence is magnetic. Ultimately, the power of walking away shows her that you're not with her out of neediness or desperation. You're there because you genuinely want to be, and because she aligns with your values. This creates a connection that's built on mutual respect, where both of you are free to be yourselves. In a world where many people settle or bend too easily, standing firm and being willing to let go is a rare strength. It shows her that you value yourself enough to put your happiness and integrity first. And that's exactly the kind of energy she'll find captivating. Number 7. The right moment to step away. When things feel too intense or you notice your partner pulling away, it might be time to create a little space. This act of stepping back allows your partner to experience life without your constant presence and to feel the difference when you're not immediately there. It creates a subtle spark, a reminder of what they value in you, a space for them to miss you, and an opportunity for them to reach out. There's a Stoic principle that applies well here: patience and timing. In Stoicism, acting out of impulsive emotion or rushing to fix things is often discouraged. Instead, there's a focus on observing the situation calmly and allowing time to guide the next step. By pulling back, you're allowing space for the relationship to breathe, for emotions to settle, and for both of you to naturally gravitate toward each other if the connection is strong. Sometimes, doing less can actually lead to a greater sense of closeness because you're showing respect for each other's need for independence and reflection. Think of a moment where things have felt tense or maybe a bit off. Perhaps you're trying to communicate, but it feels like your partner isn't fully present, or maybe they're even a bit distant. In that situation, it can be tempting to double down, to try harder to get their attention or to bring up issues right away. But instead, imagine that you gently pull back. You give them space, and importantly, you give yourself space as well. This doesn't mean ignoring them or disappearing. It means stepping back from constantly initiating and allowing a natural flow to emerge. When you create this gap, you're allowing them the chance to feel what it's like when you're not constantly there, and that absence can reignite appreciation and attraction. Let's say you've been spending a lot of time together, and suddenly she seems a little more reserved or less responsive. Rather than questioning her or trying to analyze what's wrong, you simply step back. You focus on your own pursuits, your own goals, and give her the space to come back naturally. This approach shows her that you're secure in yourself and that you respect her autonomy. It gives her the freedom to miss you on her own terms, which often leads to a more genuine, heartfelt connection when she reaches out again. By knowing when to step back, you're showing that you're confident enough not to cling, that you're secure enough to trust the relationship without micromanaging it. This confidence, this willingness to let go just a little, is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're there by choice, not out of dependency or neediness. You're giving her the chance to appreciate you, to feel that spark that comes when you're not always accessible. This sense of autonomy and respect for each other's space keeps the relationship dynamic and engaging. In the long run, recognizing the right moment to step away can make all the difference in maintaining a lasting attraction. When you let the relationship breathe, you're allowing it to grow in a natural, healthy way. You're not forcing connection or pushing for constant interaction. Instead, you're building a foundation where both of you can feel free and valued, where each moment together feels like a choice, not an obligation. So, remember, sometimes a bit of space is all that's needed to reignite attraction. It's a gentle, patient approach that respects the rhythm of closeness and independence. By embracing the art of stepping back, you're creating a relationship dynamic that's based on respect, admiration, and the freedom to come together out of genuine desire. This balance between connection and space, closeness and independence, is what keeps the spark alive, allowing both of you to appreciate and desire each other all over again. Number 8. Cultivating inner peace and autonomy. Finding true fulfillment within yourself is a game changer, not only for your personal growth, but for the quality of your relationships. When you cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and autonomy, your self-worth and happiness no longer rely on anyone else. This independence creates a kind of strength and stability that enhances everything you bring into a relationship. You're not looking for someone to fill a gap or make you complete. Instead, you're inviting them into a life that's already rich and fulfilling. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is that peace and happiness come from within. This philosophy reminds us to let go of things beyond our control and focus instead on developing resilience, self-discipline, and a steady mind. When you apply this to relationships, it transforms how you approach love and partnership. You're not entering a relationship from a place of need, but from a place of abundance. Love becomes about genuine admiration, respect, and shared values, qualities that build stronger and more balanced connections. When you're content on your own, the foundation of your relationship shifts from dependency to mutual respect. You're with your partner because you choose to be, not because you need to be, and this makes all the difference. This sense of choice brings a refreshing freedom to the relationship. She senses that you're steady, centered, and not relying on her validation to feel whole. This energy draws her to you because she feels free to be herself too, knowing she's with someone who appreciates her as she is, not as someone who's there to meet all of his emotional needs. Imagine a relationship where both partners have cultivated their own inner peace. There's a balance of support and space, where each person has their own passions, pursuits, and sense of fulfillment. There's no pressure on either person to complete the other, because both of you feel secure within yourselves. This type of relationship thrives on respect and attraction, not on the need to constantly reassure each other. You're free to support each other's growth, to explore life together, and to enjoy each other's company without clinging or fear of losing yourself in the relationship. For example, you've invested time in pursuing your own interests, developing your career, and building friendships that add meaning to your life. When you're in a relationship, you don't drop these pursuits. Instead, you bring that richness with you. You're still investing in yourself, maintaining your hobbies, and spending time with friends. This doesn't mean you're not committed. It means you're committed to both the relationship and to yourself. This balance is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're strong and secure on your own. Your partner sees that you're living a life that's fulfilling and inspiring, and she'll feel privileged to be a part of it, rather than feeling pressured to be your whole world. The beauty of cultivating inner peace is that it makes you resilient in the face of challenges, including relationship ups and downs. When you have a strong sense of self, you're less likely to be shaken by temporary setbacks or disagreements. Instead, you're able to approach conflict calmly, bringing clarity and stability to the situation. This steadiness reinforces her trust in you because she knows that no matter what, you're not dependent on the relationship for your happiness. You're someone she can rely on, not someone who will unravel if things get tough. In many ways, this approach allows love to grow in an environment of respect and freedom. When you're fulfilled on your own, you're not putting the weight of your happiness on her shoulders, which lets the relationship breathe and flourish. There's no dependency. There's just a shared connection built on appreciation and choice. Stoic principles of self-sufficiency, self-respect, and inner calm guide you in building this kind of relationship, one that is based on shared joy rather than need. You both feel free to be yourselves, which only strengthens the bond over time. So, focus on developing that inner peace. Pursue your passions, cultivate meaningful friendships, and invest in your own growth. By building a life that brings you genuine joy and fulfillment, you're creating a solid foundation for any relationship. You're showing her and yourself that your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else, that you're with her because you want to be, not because you need to be. This mindset creates a relationship dynamic that's empowering and attractive, where both partners feel respected, valued, and free to grow. This approach allows love to thrive on a foundation of strength, admiration, and lasting attraction. When you bring inner peace and autonomy to a relationship, you create a connection that's based on respect and genuine desire, a bond that not only endures, but enriches both of your lives, allowing love to grow in a space of freedom and true appreciation. As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that the concept of stepping back isn't about losing connection, but about enhancing it through thoughtful independence and respect. In this video, we explored why giving a woman space, even when she's attracted to you, isn't just about stepping back. It's about stepping into a more nuanced understanding of attraction. We uncovered how this approach is grounded in both natural dynamics and Stoic wisdom, emphasizing the power of restraint and the importance of letting someone appreciate your value on their own terms. This isn't about playing games. It's about fostering a genuine connection that allows both partners to recognize and respect each other's worth, creating a deeper, more meaningful bond. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this strategy. Do you think giving space can truly enhance attraction? Have you experienced this dynamic in your own relationships? Drop a comment below to share your experiences and insights. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Check out the recommended videos on screen for more insights into building stronger, more resilient relationships. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the best way to pull someone closer is to give them the space to come to you.